nation when it ended up on the cover of a supermarket tab.
The funeral home. It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Who took a picture of Whitney Houston in her casket? Tonight, the owner of the funeral home where the photo was taken breaks her silence. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ernie Anastas.
I'm Derry Alexander. That photo shocked the nation when it ended up on the cover of a supermarket tabloid.
It was taken inside the Whigham funeral home in Newark, and tonight the funeral home owner says that she knows who took the picture.
Fox 5's Dan Bollins was live in Newark with the details. Good evening, Dan.
Good evening, Derry and Ernie. When that photograph of Whitney Houston in her casket ended up on the front page of a supermarket tabloid, some suspected maybe it was someone here from the Whigham funeral home who leaked that photograph. Well, earlier today, the owner of the funeral home says without a doubt it was not. The Whigham Funeral Home prides itself on having served the Essex County community for over 65 years. But when a photograph of Whitney Houston, secretly taken while she lay in her casket, was published, owner Carolyn Whigham says some in this community turned on her in the business.
Last Friday, I was spit in my face, in my gold hearse.
Now, after receiving nasty emails and threats, Whigham says she wants to set the record straight, saying it was not a member of the Whigham staff or her who leaked the photo, which was printed on the front page of the National Enquirer.
You are looking at the only 3 people that saw Whitney Houston. My staff, my secretaries, my drivers, never was exposed to any area that she was in.
Whigham says Houston's body was always guarded by security in a downstairs area of the home prior to the service. She believes the photo was taken a day before the funeral during a private viewing for Houston's closest friends and relatives. Whigham and 2 friends who are supporting her in the business say they do know who took the photo. They just aren't identifying the person and say that is up to the Houston family.
And I want you to think clearly for just 1 minute. Whitney Houston's body was here all week long. Ms. Carolyn Whigham and her staff, if they desired so, could have took professional pictures all week and released them way prior to the funeral or the homegoing celebration. They did not do so. They had tight security the entire time that her body was here.
And the Whigham Funeral Home again says they've launched their own internal investigation and they believe they've determined who took that photograph. But as you heard mentioned, they are not saying who took the photograph. Ms. Whigham says this is the first time in all her years that her life has been threatened in connection with her work. She said she called that news conference earlier today to clear her name and the business's name. Ernie, Derry, back to you.
Unbelievable. So sad, Dan. Thank you. A drive-by shooting